Good morning to one and all. So now we will start the program, and I welcome all the participants who all are there to present the paper. So today's chief guest and keynote speaker, Professor Frank. So I'm very thankful to Professor Frank that in such a short period of notice he agreed to give the talk, and his biodata is very big. So I will request him to share only little I can talk about that. Uh, Only little I can talk about him that he has done diploma in engineering in material science of Technical University and project engineer at Aerodata company. So basically he is from aerospace engineering. So I think if he will share about himself, it will be very nice rather to read his biodata. So Professor Frank, we are requesting you to just talk about yourself and share your experience so that we all will learn from you what is your achievement and what and all you have done till now. So your experience will be very much benefited to all the scholar here who are listening in offline mode. So some few people are sitting here also in auditorium outside. So they will definitely get benefited by your uh, journey throughout in the domain of the aerospace engineering. Okay, thank you. So over to you, Professor Frank.
Yeah, thank you very much for this introduction. Just you can hear me, yes? It's everything is works. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes, I can hear
Yeah.
you.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you very much for this introduction. And just for the sake of completeness, to be correct on this side, I'm not a professor, so I'm a normal scientist at German Aerospace Center. But anyhow, I have a little bit experience, so I hope I can give some insights or can give some motivation about the keynote. Let me start with expressing my gratitude to the committee for selecting me as a keynote speaker. It is an honor for me, and thank you very much for that. Please let me start with with bothering you. Sorry for that, but with bothering you with a topic we are now in since 2 years. It's the corona pandemic. And the corona pandemic, on the one hand, showed us the importance of deep and specific research and science. So thanks to that, we have the vaccines so that we have some protection against the virus. And on the other hand, corona showed and shows us the importance of data sharing, information and data sharing, and to give a focus on that, just saying that the right data to the right people at the right time. It's very important, and I try to express it in a diplomatic manner. There's a lot to be optimized in this field, at least in Germany here. We have some strange procedures where fax data are typed in by people from hand into Excel files, then other people typed them from the Excel files in databases and so on. Some horrible procedures like that. So a lot to do. But information sharing doesn't start with computers. Information sharing starts with people being interconnected, people talking to each other, and people gathering, like in a multidiscipline conference we have today. And sometimes these conferences are regarded at a point for some second level conferences, because They are not dedicated to a special narrow corridor of special fields. But I don't think they are not second level. They are on the same level as specialized conferences. They are at the same level because having a broad base of different topics in this field of computers and electronics, it's very important because it gives you the possibility to look at the left and look at the right from your own topic. And this is important for being able to not reinvent a wheel which is already existing in another topic. And let me give you an example for that. In the aviation sector or in the air traffic management community, since several years there is a method, or there is a big topic called system-wide information management, to connect all these complex systems in a structured manner via a kind of information bus, enterprise information bus in the principle. And the whole system-wide information management is based on standards. And as an example, there is for the ground to board or ground to cockpit communication, the protocol or the standard protocol which is depicted is AMQP, the Advanced Message Queuing Protocol. And this protocol was developed some years ago in the finance sector for secure translation or interchange of finance data. And so this is a good example because it's on the VIA protocol where you have all the features you really need for such a cockpit and ground communication. So there was no reinvention of the wheel. A wheel already existing in another sector was just taken and adapted. And sometimes it is worth to look not only at the left or at the right, but sometimes it's worth to look behind you in the past. And during the next presentations, when I will give my topic presentation about my last current work in the tool command language area, this is an example for that, because the tool command language, it's a programming language having its roots and dating back to the 80s, mid of the 80s. And I'm often confronted with some people saying to me, are you mad or are you crazy? Why are you coping with such an old thing, with such an old, outdated programming language? And I am not mad and I'm not crazy, because the tool command language is not old and outdated. It is mature. And there's a difference. Mature and old is a difference. And so this is, I think it's a good example of what that is worth to look sometimes behind you if there is something growing from the past or in the past and now at a very mature level. And with such some short sentences, and please excuse this very short keynote speak, I would like to close my speech by hoping that I was able to inspire you a little bit for the following interesting presentations, and that we will have fruitful discussions. Thank you very much for your attention.
Yes, from the audience side, if anyone is interested to ask any question, they can ask the question. From my side, one question is just what is the future of aerospace engineering for the student community? What message you will give? Because students are doing engineering in our college and they are listening your talk. So, what you will suggest? what they should go towards the coding preparation or towards what to get into the aerospace engineering.
Yeah, for the young students in the aerospace field, I can only recommend to be interested in a broad range of fields. As I said, look beside you at the left and at the right in other fields, and it's important to have knowledge in computer programming. So because everywhere you need it, or it is worth to have a look inside it, even if you will not be in a job or in a duty of developing software, but it is always important to know what this means, what kind of effort is associated with special tasks and so on. So always be open-minded to other fields around you. So be open-minded to the math, to the physics, be open-minded to topics like meteorology, because all is important for aviation, and the future will handle or will have to challenge or have to face a special challenge. It's a topic we were in now with some dedicated research. It's the future integration of space traffic in the normal traffic, because as you are informed about the super billionaires with their private launch activities, if you give us some more years, we will have a regular base for these flights, and then these suborbital flights will come back as hypersonic gliders, and it's just only a question of time when they need to be integrated in normal traffic to be able then to land on normal airports, or maybe on dedicated airports, but they have to cross the area of the normal traffic and the air structures. So it is a dedicated topic for the future, and it is worth for young people to have a look inside this. Some other questions, so please feel free, and I really appreciate. I think you are still muted. I cannot hear you.
Sorry.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Sorry. So on behalf of my PhD scholar, I'm working in the domain of the photonics, integrated optics. So he's asking one question, that after doing PhD from India, what is the future of doing postdoctorate from Germany in the area of photonics and optoelectronics?
Yeah, I must be sorry that I'm not so deeply in this field that I can really give some outlook about what is the future in this. But I think especially in this field, Germany lost a little bit in the last years, and it's a pity. And I think we have to regain the associated level. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And any question from any other people who are attending? You want to ask any question? Huh? You want to ask any question? Just I am passing one question. Just you ask if he knows. You ask, introduce yourself and ask question.
Okay, I'm Anup from Bangalore. I just want to know, like, what is actually the requirement for postdoctorate, like regarding publication and what kind of publications and what actually the requirements.
He mean to say related to the publication, what is the requirement? Publication means SCI publication, IEEE transaction. So as a scientist, you can put some light on this regarding the publication. What type of journal is more expected in Germany? Like in India, people are publishing paper in Scopus Index Journal and Science Citation Index Journal. So he's asking as a scholar, his name is Anup Upadhyay, he's asking as a scholar as he has published SCI journal. So to do higher study in abroad, what kind of journal paper are required? If you can give the answer, over to you.
Yeah, in Germany, it's the same as you mentioned. We especially, for example, in German Aerospace Center, we have these key performance indicators for our research institutes, and they refer to indexed journal publications and special Scopus and Scopus index journals. So this is very important for a kind of academic or scientific career, that you gain points on this kind of level or scala, as you can see. Yeah.
So, okay, I mean like the Scopus and Index Journal is the minimum basic requirement.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you on behalf of Oxford College of Engineering, my principal, my HOD and management. I am very thankful and very happy to see you here, Professor Frank. Thank you so much.
Thank you very
So,
much. Thank you.
thank So now we will move as per the paper ID. We will start our paper presentation. So just a minute, we will look into this. So I think list is there. So who are in the first name? Let's check the list. It is the paper ID 15. Paper ID 15. Whose paper ID 15 is there? Is present. The title of the paper is Intelligent Technologies for Automating the Process of Computer Simulators Developing. This particular title. If paper ID 15 is not present now, he may join late. Then paper ID 16. Paper ID 16 is present. I can see Mr. Masoor is there. What is your paper ID, sir?
Madam, my paper. Good morning to all of you. You listen my voice, madam? Hello.
Yes, you are
Listen my
audible.
voice?
You are audible.
Okay. Yes, madam. Listen. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning to all of you. My start my presentation, madam. Start. Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning to all of you. I am Ahsan Masroor, lecturer of Department of Computer Science, Sir Syed University of Engineering and Technology. The research topic is comparative studies on useful learning algorithm used for the stock analysis or prediction. With my co-author is Mr. Salar, Mrs. Javeri Hafiz Siddiqui, Mr. Abdul Khalik, Sharik Ahmed, and Mr. Parshan Kumar. Next part of my slide is table of content. Abstract, introduction and related work, comparative analysis, and conclusion. These are the table of our content. Now we have start from the next my slides is the abstract. The fundamental of our study is to discuss to all possible learning algorithm or model used by the author in the area of financial marketing, also to highlight the optimal or state of art learning algorithm, which produce the effective result among the many studies. To choose the technical for the creation of any their future product of the field of stock market. Now my next slide is the introduction and related work. The most of the work depends completely on single agent that receive one or several source of data as an input, then a single agent completes the output that is trained on a modified number of iterations. In a three-layer stock traders, this methodology is just doing the opposite increase in sampling step, which accept loaded input from the other classify and combine its set of classes by a different training iteration. Combining these steps on reinforcement learning trader agent 2. Now my next slide is the comparative analysis. Now in this slide we have discussed how many authors will be discussed about the deep learning model and how. In this the autoregressive model is twice time, and an artificial neural network model is 3 times, and deep hyper framework is 1 time, and the multi-resolution wavelength is twice time, and the random forest is 1 time, and logistic regression is 1 time, and the deep neural network is 3 times. Now we conclusion that in this we have that deep learning and artificial neural model are applied to securities exchange explanation and expectation because they are high frequency nowadays as compared to the other model. While autoregressive and multi-resolution wavelet model plays a second in terms of uses of prediction of financial market. And lastly, deep hyper framework, random forest, and logistic regression found later use a classify of the prediction of forecasting in the paradigm of financial market. Now we have discussed the another comparative analysis of the pie chart. We have categorized into 3 parts: supervised learning, deep learning, and reinforcement learning. The highest use is found by deep learning model these days with a percentage of 50%. Now we have supervised model can second with a 31.25% uses. The last one is the reinforcement learning model, are completely less used in the financial market analysis or prediction with a 18.75%. Now this we have final, and the last will be the conclusion. In this we will research that in this research we try to conclude a comparative studies of different learning classify and their use in the financial market forecasting and prediction. As per person advancement, deep learning models are taken highly bridged by the making the impact in the accuracy as. Thank you. Thank you, madam. Any question regarding my research?
Yes, thank you for your nice presentation. In short, you have presented very well. So, any question from the audience side? Audience side, if any question is there?
No.
No? Okay, then one question only I will ask. Here you have compared how many type of algorithm?
Madam, I in this research paper I have 15 research paper and compare from the 15 version, and those paper we have final the result that the deep learning is more than we have discussed the conclusion that we have 3 times 50% in my slide number 7 that 50% deep learning model will be used for the stock market for forecasting and prediction. That's why it discussed in the my slide number 7. You have briefly explained that.
Thank you very much. Very nice, Mr. Masood. And for kind information, I just because many people are listening to your talk, So whoever is interested in this research, they can contact you. So kindly give your once again introduction from where you are, so people will come to know. And we have email ID, and if they want, I can share with your permission your email ID if they want to collaborate with you. Fine?
Okay, madam. I completed.
Yes,
Thank.
yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay, I am going now. Right now. Thank you, madam.
okay, okay.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
Next, our coordinator, Mr. Bhargav, Dr. Bhargav will take charge of this. Okay. Over to you, Bhargav.
Good morning, ma'am. It was very pleasant to getting that. Please start sharing your screen. Hello, paper ID 16. The title is Teleworking and Worker Productivity of Peruvian Incoming Tour Operators. I request the author please share the screen and present.
Otherwise, if that particular paper ID is not there, next who joined already, they can present. Professor Bhargav, they can present who already joined.
Madam, yeah.
Fine. So, from here, who joined from the author list? You can see who are the author. Anybody? Next paper. I think Muhammad Ali or Hamza he has given. Muhammad Ali Qureshi. Muhammad Ali Qureshi. Is the
Yes, ma'am.
author?
Shall we start?
Yeah, you can
Yes,
start.
ma'am.
Yes, you can
Okay,
start.
ma'am.
You can share your slide. Okay?
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Yeah, yes, you can share.
Hello.
Now we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Well, hello to everybody. Welcome to the 7th International Conference on Recent Trends in Computer Science and Electronics, University of Hawaii, Manoa campus. Today we are going to discuss paper ID 30, Soccerflix Score and Match Predictor using Deep Neural Networks and Logistic Regression. And the authors are Mr. Salar Khan, Mr. Hamza Masood, Mr. Ashar Ali, Ms. Aisha Uruj, Mr. Ali Qureshi, and Mr. Saif Ali. And we are from Pakistan. Abstract. To solve the problem of loss of interest in soccer over time because of the busy life, and predicting the outcome of soccer is also an interesting challenge, which led to the creation of this idea. The purpose of this paper is to provide a single platform to soccer freaks in which they can find e-commerce features, soccer kits, customized kits too, scores, calendars, soccer related news and prediction too. The whole website is based on PHP for scores, calendar, and for news we have used Rapid API, and for prediction we have used datasets that goes through the methods of cleaning, selection, pre-processing, and model training. And after that we used different algorithms such as logistic regression, LSTM, RNN, and deep neural networks. But in the end we implemented logistic regression and deep neural network. The dataset which we are using are from year 1872 to 2016 for international matches. And for the league matches, we are using the dataset from 2008 to 2018 to get the higher accuracy. The whole process of creating a website and predicting an algorithm saves a lot of time of soccer freaks, so they can see anything related to soccer from anywhere in our website. Introduction. Soccer is ruling the world because of its popularity with 4 billion estimated global following, and the origin was found in 19th century in England. People all over the world enjoy it, indulge, and support no matter whether they are from any religion or caste, and also support their favorite players. Due to its popularity, number of stores are working, dealing wisely, but falling in some best features which we are offering. To promote our website, we not only sell soccer products, but also entertain our fans with soccer match updates, live scoring, match prediction, and much more. Research methodology. For his match prediction, we surely need previous datasets from which we can predict the percentage of winning chances of both teams. After gathering relevant data, features were looked at and the discrepancies within the datasets were removed during the data cleaning process. Briefly, these clean datasets were made to undergo a pre-processing cycle where data format, dataset size, and related problems were taken care of. This was followed by the model selection process, which revolved around the evolution and comparison of two prediction algorithms, namely logistic regression and deep neural networks. This involves splitting the entire dataset into training and testing sets, training the model and evaluating them using accuracy metrics. For logistic regression, this process was implemented using the k-faults cross validation, whereas for neural networks, this validation strategy comes built in. Website integration. For website integration, the trained model and pre-processing SQL having built-in functionality of machine-readable form is saved in local storage. Then the script is created, which imports the required library and model load into local storage. PHP, which calls our Python script pass input, includes home team, away team, home form, away form. Now some method like one-hot encoding and PCA, principal component analysis, will be applied to convert machine learning in input format. Then these model will run into this format to find prediction. Then the prediction in Python script will be returned to the PHP file to display prediction in front of all users who visit our website. Now the author Mohammad Ali Qureshi will continue further. Thank you.
Thank you, Syed Mohammad Saif. Now I will present. So as we discuss about the live scoring and prediction, this website is based on PHP. Because of its e-commerce features and all its functionalities are used to connect the backend. First, we get the API from API Footballs, from which we use to get method to find responses and save them responsive in JavaScript as variable. Then we use them with inner HTML function for the home team and the save home team and save goals array, which also created while include home team, away team. After this, we create a function to add mesh style, which catches HTML tags, all the tags, and display them to create div and add in a class list. For example, for home team, it just create a different section, and same for the away team. Save these in append child, and then this way we call these in our HTML file. Then the experimental result and discussion will say that the prediction, as we already discussed about the dataset, that datasets which we gather from the different website like Kaggle, which is the most famous we divided these category into international matches and league matches, like shown as below: the English Premier League, French League, Spanish League, and etc. as per public interest. In our process, we import libraries like pandas, keras, numpy. After importing all the libraries and file machine read data from SQL database and file, we saw the number of data about 42,483 of international games from 1872 to 2021. So to compress these, we applied one-hot encoding and principal component analysis, which my co-fellow have discussed already, to reduce the number of columns while maintaining amount of information. Now for the model training, selection and training and evaluation, we use two of our algorithms, which is logistic regression and neural networks. For international matches, when we apply the method of pre-processing and then move towards overall over the machine learning algorithm, we got the accuracy of 55.13% as shown below. And after applying the neural network, we get the accuracy of almost 28 to 30%, which is less, but we are working on it. And same for the league matches, we got the accuracy of 50 to 55% of the training model. And for the neural network for league matches, we got the accuracy of 22 to 24%. There is a section of e-commerce also, which we are offering. User can also have e-commerce and customized kits option available. Where he or she can buy soccer. Also, conclusion is that soccer is a sport that has a lot of surprises. If we talk about the soccer freaks or football freaks, so that's not easy for them to watch scores, kits, and customized kits. And by this problem, we suggest that our app or website will surely present because of their busy life, and if they want to do it, they need to go through the different websites. They didn't get all the stuff on a single platform. So this paper or research work is the solution to all the problem. They find each and everything related to single soccer tab or single platform. For prediction, we already discussed about the algorithms, and we are improving them day by day to get more and more accuracy, so that we can provide a simple scorecard, etc. We are currently looking to improve it for the better results and different deep learning models or in samples. Hope you like our presentation. Thank you for your kind attention. Any questions?
Thank you for a nice presentation. Just I want to ask one question. In e-commerce, what is the this one importance of this? You have explained very well. So prediction model, what accuracy you are getting compared to the existing paper?
Right now, we achieve around 70%.
Okay, fine. So any other question from the audience?
No
Any other
question.
question? No question. Okay, fine.
Thank
So
you.
now, thank you. Now I will request who is ready for the next presentation.
I would be ready for the ID 43 if you would
Yeah,
like.
fine.
Yeah.
Fine. So you just present your slide.
Okay.
And give your introduction at the starting. Yeah, no issue. Your introduction is already there. So yes.
Okay.
Visible.
Thank you very much. So you can hear me, yeah? Okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So my presentation is about. Sorry, there is some background talk.
I will request everyone to mute yourself. Yes, now they muted.
Okay.
Yes.
My presentation is about Rocket Engine. It's a Rocket Engine propulsion package for the tool command programming language. Just an overview about my presentation. I will start with an introduction, then something about the method, some results, and I will finalize with the conclusion and outlook. Here you can see the Spaceliner. The space it's an in simulation picture. What you can see here, the Spaceliner is German Aerospace Center's DLR's future concept of a future suborbital hypersonic passenger transport concept. It's a future concept, and I realized the human-in-the-loop flight simulation. I developed the flight dynamics model for the commercial flight simulation software X-Plane, and it's up until now it's a thrustless model, and it is used in the integration and in examinations of space traffic hypersonic gliding descent trajectories. So how to integrate this thrustless phase of flight into normal air traffic. But for the future analysis of rocket propelled flight phases, we have the need for a thrust model. So it is not enough to have some thrustless model. We need the thrust model, for example, for the ascent phase, where it is rocket propelled. So what were the development requirements for such an integration of a thrust model? As always, when it refers to software development, you have always this first requirement: as simple as possible with a minimum of development effort. Okay, it's easy to say, but most of the cases it's hard to realize. And then there must be a simple and flexible integration in the simulation environment, so that it is not an isolated solution, but a solution which is open for future adaptations and integrations of additional systems. And for that, it is important that you can use it in a future system of systems concept. So the realization, the method, why as a tool command language package? Why as a package for such a script language? Because of the first point, the tool command language has its strength in the general purpose and in the rapid prototyping fields, because you can really success fast results and useful results. And so if you need something with a dedicated time horizon, this might be, or this is, for me, it's the right choice. And I already developed an X-Plane interface package in the tool command language, so it was more or less a logic consequence that to use again the tool command language. What you can see here is the kind of a rocket engine nozzle with the configurable input parameters for the thrust. As you can see here, you have on the left side, you have the pressure chamber, or the combustion chamber, the burning chamber of the rocket engine, where you have the parameters, temperature of the chamber, and the power in the chamber, the force there. Then you have these square diameter of the nozzle, and on the right side you have the nozzle exit diameter. On the left side here, then the nozzle throat, and on the right side, the nozzle exit. You have the pressure at the nozzle exit, and then you have the atmosphere pressure. These are the configurable input parameters, which are the typical input or the typical layout parameters of a rocket engine. Then you have again, you have additional parameters which are fuel specific, where you have the universal gas constant. Okay, that's universal, but then you have the molecular weight of the exhaust species and the associated isentropic exponent. And here are the three formulas which are important. The first one is what you want to get out. You want to calculate the thrust with the thrust evolvement with time. So it is dependent on the mass flow, the nozzle exit velocity of the exhaust species, the nozzle exit square parameter or diameter cross section, as you can see, and then the differential pressure. And for the mass flow, you have this this formula where the fuel specifics go in. As you can see here, the gas constant and the isentropic exponent. On the right side, you have from above the gas velocity at nozzle exit, or the exhaust species velocity. The package is structured in a straightforward manner. You have three internal procedures for the gas exit velocity calculation, mass flow, and the thrust, max thrust calculation, and two external procedures with which you will use inside your program, so which will be used from the package inside the program. It is the ini-defines procedure, where you define your configuration, where you define the configurable parameters, and then the calculation of the thrust over time. In addition, there are three configurable phases with random fluctuation parameters. The first time phase is thrust 1 to a fraction of max. Then this linear phase where max thrust is reached, and then from that on the max thrust phase, where the max thrust is flowing out. There you have an example, a result example of how this how a run evolves over time, about 10 seconds here, and with a configuration, with this configuration, it reached about nearly 500,000 Newton. And as you can see on the right side, this fraction was the first, what I called here, this was the fraction. It is configurable, and it was here configured by 10%, and spread 1, what you can see here, by 15%. Sorry, what you can see with spread 10, spread 15, spread 10, and spread 2% refers to these three phases, how it is jittering here. This is the jittering with spread 1, jittering with spread 2, and jittering with spread 3. So what were the results? The first results. On the left side, you can see the update interval for a local test on a very yeah, weak computer. So, but anyhow, you can see that it was not so bad. It was in the range up to 15 milliseconds, the update interval, and the local UDP send receive delay was in the vicinity between 2 and 9 milliseconds. And combining these two results means that you have a worst case execution time and worst case transmission time of 15, as you can see here, 15 seconds, and at these local delay about 9.1. So you are in the vicinity of 24.1 milliseconds, and this does not reach the real time, does not really reach the real time requirement of 50 hertz update. So it doesn't meet the hard real-time requirement. But if you regard these areas here, you can say that it is okay for a 50 hertz soft real-time requirement. Conclusion and outlook. So I realized a tool command language rocket engine propulsion package where we will be able to do test runs in the real-time unit in the loop simulation with configurable typical design parameters of a rocket engine. And yeah, it is possible to realize simple and flexible integration in the simulation and to reach a soft real-time performance of 50 hertz. What's the future plan for that? The future deployment of this rocket engine package, it will be used in a rocket engine thrust federate in a distributed spacecraft simulation. As you can see here, this is the plan for the future, to have a high-level architecture, which is called HLA, future distributed HLA simulation, where all these spacecraft systems are federates of the simulation of the whole federation. And I plan to use for that the Space Federate Object Model, which is a new standard where a lot of spacecraft specifics are defined in a structured manner, so which will give you a kind of a priori interoperability of complex space vehicle system simulations. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much for the nice presentation. Next, Professor Bhargav, you see who is in the list.
Thank you, Mr. Frank.
Any question? Any question?
No question.
Mr. Frank, what is a normal engine and TCL rocket engine? What is the difference actually? Like you are talking about TCL rocket engine, right? So what is the difference between like normal engines and TCL engines?
Sorry, maybe I did not explain this right. TCL is not a special kind of rocket engine. TCL refers to tool command language. It is the programming language which are used to realize this rocket engine simulation. So it has nothing to do with a special type of rocket engine.
Okay.
Sorry for that.
Yeah. So means that the network simulator you are using, right? I think.
It's the computer language I used
Yeah,
to
okay.
program this.
Okay, fine.
This solution. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, any other questions from the participants? Yeah, I think there are no questions. It was very clear-cut information that you have given, Mr. Frank. Yeah, thanks for the session. So, yeah, now I request paper ID 47, evaluation of free technologies for the management of metadata in digital repositories for government entities. So the author is Daniel. Is Daniel available in this meeting? Daniel or Julio?
He was there. Daniel is there.
Yeah. Daniel, you are able to reach me? Please unmute yourself, Daniel.
No, I'm from paper ID 29.
Oh, 29 is not in our session track actually.
No,
okay, I think.
So let them give the talk. No problem.
Okay. Okay, Daniel, are you ready now?
I might need 5 to 10 minutes. If you
Okay.
guys can.
Okay. Yeah, take your time. No problem. I request paper ID 52. Sarah So is available.
Hello. Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. Good morning, Sarah. So can you please share your screen and present?
And Sarah, I will request you first to give your introduction and then you start your presentation.
So I request all the authors, when you are presenting, please switch on your video for at least 1 minute so that we'll be taking the snap of it.
Okay.
Yes, sir. You are not audible.
Sarah, you are on mute. You can unmute yourself.
No, we can't hear you.
Sarah, your voice is very low.
We can't hear you.
You can increase your volume there.
Very low voice is there.
Please
Your
try
sound.
to increase your volume.
I'm here. Do you know? Do you hear me?
Yes. Now we are audible.
Okay, I am Sarah.
Preeta madam, can you take one second, Sarah? Preeta madam, can you take the screenshot or I will take?
Okay, you take.
Okay, fine. Yeah, Sarah, please go ahead.
Okay.
Yes, introduce yourself.
So I'm from Morocco, and I'm a PhD student in IT and artificial intelligence. Can you see my screen?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay, so hello everyone. First of all, I would like to thank you for your presence today, and I wish this Congress all the success possible. I'm going to present you my paper entitled Optimal Container Storage Plan Built Using the Ant Colony Algorithm. So with the considerable growth in the number of containers passing through seaports and the limitation of storage areas in the ports, the problem of container storage is becoming one of the major issues. It has a considerable impact in the efficiency of other port operations. The objective of this research is to find an optimal storage plan that specifies the ideal storage location for each container and takes into account the actual storage constraints. In this presentation, we will focus on the container storage dynamic case problem in a port terminal. The main difference between this case and the static case is the fact that in dynamic case, we consider that not all containers have arrived in the terminal at the beginning of the storage operations, even if we know the departure and arrival dates of containers. So to manage this dynamic case, we use the horizon planning method. This method consists of dividing a long period of time into several parts, each part representing a work period. For example, one day can be divided into 4 6-hour periods, as shown in the following figure. So in our proposed algorithm for solving the dynamic case of the container storage problem, we consider that the storage plan for incoming containers during each period of the time horizon is determined by taking into account the state of the terminal at the end of the previous period. This implies that the determination of storage locations for all containers arriving during a planning horizon is done sequentially by processing the containers arriving during each period in succession. In general, the algorithm takes as input a file that contains two types of crucial information, namely the storage location that are already occupied, as well as information, size, departure date, about the containers that occupy them, and information about the containers that arrive during the planning horizon. The algorithm returns a file that contains the best solution it found. It's a file that specifies the storage location that the file also specifies the objective function value, the total distance. The colony algorithm is composed of several iterations, each of which mainly contains two steps: the construction of solutions by the ants and the updating of the pheromone traces. So the solution representation that we have adopted in our algorithm is in the form of a succession of couples, container stack, which each form a kernel of the solution. So a valid solution must include all the containers in addition to that the containers of the couples must be 2 by 2 distinct. So in a valid solution, we have as many couples as containers to store. Thus, before starting the ant colony algorithm, we must first look for all the pairs container stack that are compatible or that check these two conditions. The stack is not full. The capacity should be superior to 0, and the container and the stack have the same users. So let E denote the set of pairs that are compatible. Each element Kp of E has a pheromone trace Kp, which is initialized to 1. In the procedure of construction of solution, we use the following formula to compute the selection probability of each pair. As you can see on the screen. dkp is the distance between the stack P and the exit gate of container, and 1 divided by dkp is the visibility of the pair. Each ant sequentially constructs its solution, which we can call S, adding 1 by 1 pairs that belong to E. So the procedure of constructing the solution is as follows. So before starting to construct a solution, the set of pairs E is divided into two subsets, E1 and E2. The first subset contains the pairs that have no reshuffling risk, while the second subset contains the pairs that correspond to assignments that cause reshuffling. This procedure allows us to favor the pairs that not rhythm with reshuffling over the others. So we start the construction of each solution by considering only the elements of E1. If E1 becomes empty, while all containers are not yet assigned, then the elements of E2 are used. So the first pair that is selected during the construction of a solution is chosen randomly from E1 if E1 is not empty. Otherwise, it is chosen from E2. Then all the other elements that follow are chosen using the probability formula. However, each time an element Kp is added to the solution, we decrease the capacity of the stack P, where we assign the new container. Then we update the set of candidate pairs, eliminating those that might make the solution invalid. This means that we delete in E1 and E2 any pair K0, P0 that satisfies one of the following conditions. Cp equals 0 because the stack P is full, or K equal K0 because container K is already assigned to a storage location. At the end, we test whether all containers are present in the solution, whether there are many pairs in the solution as there containers to be stored in the current work period. If this is not the case, then the solution is not valid, so we delete it and we start again the construction of another solution if the number of attempts is lower than the number of allowed attempts. At each iteration, when the ants finish building a solution, we evaluate each solution by calculating the total distance. So the first function that I realized in the initialization is the initialization one. It allows to get all the inputs of the program. So the first input is the number of containers that and the number of stacks. From these two data, the program builds the following matrix of size P double K. P is the number of stack and K is the number of containers. Our application will be on a size of 4 stacks, 6 containers. The second entry is the list of output of the containers that are on top of each stack. The size of this matrix is logically equal to one double number of stack, and it is data that are used in the calculation of reshuffling. So comparing the date of output of the any container to that of the output of the one at the top of the stack, we can know if displacement will cause reshuffling or not. The third entry is the list of the outputs of the containers we want to store. The size of this matrix is also logically equal to one double number of containers. And we have a 4 entry that is the distance matrix of size P double K also, where we introduce the distances between each stack and the output gate of each container. And finally, we have the initial stack capacity list, where we introduce the capacities of the 4 stacks. And this data is updated each time container is assigned to a stack. So now that all the data are recovered, we go to the step of separating the pairs of stack containers into 2 sets, E1 which groups all the pairs that do not cause reshuffling and E2 which groups the pairs that cause reshuffling. So to test the reliability of these results, I made a simple test on Excel where I compared the output dates of each container to each of the output dates of the containers on the top of each stack. And as you can see, the results prove the efficiency of my function. After calculating E1 and E2, we go to the first assignment, which happens randomly. So we check the state of E1. If it contains elements, we take a couple. Otherwise, we take it from a set from the set E2. And we update our data. The result is as follows, as you can see on the screen. So we have, état de la matrice is 0. It's the result of verification of E1. It is a variable that I named is empty. If is empty equal 1, it is that the set is empty. If 0, it means that are elements. Here we find elements in E1. So and we will see from the solution that the element chosen randomly is the couple K24. It means that the container 2 is assigned to the stack 4. In the current solution, I store for each iteration the solution of all the ends. What you can see, solution en cours, solution en cours. So I store for each iteration the solutions of all the ends. Here I have implemented 6 ends that makes 6 lines in the solution. Then for the update of the data, as the container 2 is already assigned, the column 2 will be emptied in E1 and E2. And the capacity of the stack 4 is decremented. It passed from 6 to 5. And the date of the top of the stack 4 has been replaced by the one of the container 2 because it's the container that takes the place in the top. Now that we have an element in the solution, the rest of elements, as I said before, will be chosen through the calculation of probability. So in our example, there are always elements in E1. So we calculate the probability of each element in E1, and we see that the greatest probability is that of container 1 in stack 3. And so the date of the top of the stack 3 will be replaced by that of container 1. And the capacity of stack 3 will be decremented by 1, as you can see on the screen. It's passed from 5 to 4. And finally, the column 1 will be emptied in E1 and E2. So we continue in the same way until the solution matrix is filled. And at the end of the iteration, we obtain this matrix as follows, which represents the solution that each ant built. This means that it must contain as many rows as the number of ants and as many columns as the number of containers to store. So we conclude from row 1, for example, that the first ant has assigned the first container to stack 3, second and third and fourth container to stack 4, and fifth, and sixth container to stack 2, and so on. At the end of the program, we obtain this table which displays the best solution of each iteration and a vector which describes the decrease of the turn from one iteration to another. So, in conclusion, in this paper, we have stated the dynamic case of the container storage problem in a terminal. To do so, we first propose the mathematical clear constraints and simultaneously minimizes the number of reshuffling and the total distances to be traveled by the stackers. After this mathematical modeling, we propose the ant-colony algorithm for numerical, which proved to be effective on small and large instances. My presentation is coming to an end. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Sarah. It was very good presentation, Ant Colony.
Thank you, Sarah, for a very wonderful presentation. So any question from the participant side? Participant, you can unmute yourself and you can ask the question if you are having any question. No? Okay. Next, next who is
We're ready
ready?
to
I'm ID
present.
number.
I think
Okay.
Caesar Leon Beladre.
Paper
Mr.
ID
Leon
29. We are ready.
or Carmen Salza Deza.
Yeah, madam, next
Adik
next
Kudeshi.
Rita madam.
Professor Bhargav.
Yeah, madam, please tell madam.
Yes, they are in the list.
Actually,
I think
Ivan Patrick is there.
she was there.
Ivan is there. Okay, Mr. Daniel, are you
there.
ready?
You have given presentation?
Yes, I'm ready to share our presentation.
Yeah. Then please go ahead, Daniel.
Mr. Imran is also there. Oh, okay. Daniel is ready. Fine. Okay. So,
Daniel, Daniel, can you clear me once? Actually, you are
Yes.
not belonging to this session, right?
no problem.
No,
Okay.
we do belong in this session.
Yeah. I think there's a paper ID is missing here. Okay, no problem. You can continue, Daniel. Yeah, you can start.
Introduce yourself and start. Yeah.
Syed Kashan Raza will start.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. We can hear you.
Okay, hello everyone. Hope you guys are doing well. Myself, Syed Kashan Raza, along with my co-authors, Mr. Daniel Zia, Mohammad Ghulam Murza, Uwaizuddin Ahmad, Salah Khan, and Anam Siddiqui. We are the students of Sir Syed University of Engineering and Technology, paper ID 20. We are representing our research paper ID 29. We are chess, a Flutter-based chess application in 7th International Conference on Recent Trends in Computer Science and Electronics. Abstract. VR chess is a chess game of mobile that can be played by two methods, either by tapping on the screen for the pieces to move or by giving voice commands to the app by the player. It has a variety of app and piece themes with an easy to understand interface. The game has many more options like game modes, player 1 versus player 2 or player 1 versus AI bot, time limits, side selection, black, white or random, and AI bot difficulty level, which is up to 6 levels. This app is especially built for those people who cannot use their arms due to their disability or if they are preoccupied with something else. Perhaps they can deliver voice commands to the game. Our goal is to provide better options for the disabled one. Introduction. The main objective of this project is to provide voice recognition in a chess mobile application using Flutter, in which a user can give voice commands to the game and the pieces will move by those commands. This application's take to the problem we try to solve is the people with incapability, like the ones who lost the arms, hands, can't play chess. Most of the games players want to play any game with an easy technique, enhanced gameplay, which is not included in other chess applications, but we focused on that session. Now my fellow co-author, Mohammad Ghulam Mirza, will continue the presentation.
Hello everyone. Continuing the presentation, we will now discuss our research methodology. So we break down our research methodology in 4 phases. Number 1, collecting data. Number 2, analysis. 3, designing, and 4, algorithm. Now, the collecting data. First, before working on the chess game, we required that the data related to chess application game making methodologies, and voice recognition in games. After gathering all the related data, we processed it in two different ways. First, the primary data, like the feedback and experience of user playing chess differently and highlighting their needs while playing the game and an effect of voice recognition in chess. Second, the secondary data was obtained from the previous related work from researchers to maximize the overall result of our application. Second, analysis. The next phase was to decompose the gathered information to defining the evaluating problems and hurdles that may occur in building the application. So the collected data were classified and analyzed so that it can give an overview or information required about the data. The user requirements were the priority while designing and developing the application from the study. Number three, designing. The initial focus was to make our chessboard and pieces. So a chessboard was designed with a simple UI to start and play the game. Initially, once our chessboard was designed, the designing of further pages were made. Firstly, it was a simple board playing chess, but afterward, it was designed uniquely to enhance the user experience by giving an option to a user to change different themes, boards, and pieces. This was a unique idea that was not in any previous chess application that makes a user take more interest in it. Number four, algorithm. The main algorithm which was deployed in the AI bots was alpha beta pruning. The difficulties set in the game were increased and decreased with the efficiency of the algorithm. It is a search algorithm that seeks to lower the number of nodes, which can be evaluated by the means of the min-max algorithm in the search tree. For example, the game has 6 difficulties and 1 is the lowest and 6 is the highest. In the 1 difficulty, the algorithm makes AI bot think in 1 possible move and make to move accordingly to it, while increasing the difficulty will make it think in depth and make the best possible moves according to the search tree. Now, we will discuss the functional requirements of our project. Listed below are the 7 functional requirements of our application. Number 1, gameplay. It means our gameplay have complete functionality of chess and it also look interactive. Second, customizable app themes. Our application has customizable app themes so the players can choose the theme they like. Customizable piece theme is the third functional requirement. Customizable pieces according to their theme. The fourth requirement is the AI bots. AI bots with difficulty up to 6 levels using alpha beta pruning and min-max algorithm. Number 5, allow undo redo of moves. Allow the users to undo their moves in case they make any mistake while playing with the AI. Number 6 requirement is show move history. Show move history so that the players can see the coordinates of the moves they make. And the last one is voice recognition. The main functionality of our app is that user can play game with his voice if he wants. These were the functional requirements, and now Mr. Ovesuddin Ahmed will continue the presentation. Thank you.
My topic is about the main screen. There's and the customizable theme and history. Okay, now our main okay in main screen of the
Your
app.
voice is not audible.
Now you can
And
hear.
now it's okay. Now it's okay.
Now it's okay. In main screen of the app, it asks the user to select the game mode player versus and player 2, player 1 versus AI bot, and we use the time limits none, 15 minutes, 30, 1 hour, 1.5, and 2 hours. And we use the site selection according to the player black, white, and random. And the AI bot difficulty level, we use 1 to 6 level, which means the depth of the possibility that the AI will think of before playing its turn. The user can play against an AI bot or another player. Now, in two-player screen, if the user select to play with another player, then the app will show them the option of the time limit. Now we use the customizable theme pieces with toggles options to the user to interact. If the user taps on the setting buttons, then the app navigates them to the setting page, where the user can select a handful of app themes and app pieces. By using a fixed extend scroller, the app themes are made by our choice of gradient colors, and the board and the pieces theme are from the Flame package in Flutter. Now second, Daniel, yes? Okay, this is our some examples of customizable app theme and pieces. Here we can show that there is our customizable app theme and there is a pieces themes which we are using in our chess application. Okay, hints of possible move. If the user toggles the show hints button, then they try can see the hints of each piece as to where the particular piece could move at that turn. Daniel? Okay. Navigation through the current and the previous state of the game. If the user toggles the allow undo redo button, then by pressing the undo and redo button, the user can easily go to the previous state of the game against the AI bot if the user makes a mistake. Okay, move history. If the user toggles the show move history button in the settings screen, by doing that he'll be able to see the move history under it the timer. Flipping board. If the user toggles the flipping board for the black button, when the user will select to play as the black side, then the board will flip to the user ace. Okay, this is from my side. I call the Daniel Zia to continue the presentation. Thank you.
Is my voice audible? Okay,
Yes,
hello everyone.
very much audible.
Okay, thank you. My name is Daniel Zia and I'll be briefing you about our future module. Our future work was playing chess using voice recognition. By integrating voice recognition, a player can give up voice commands to the app while playing chess and the pieces would move accordingly to those commands. Alhamdulillah, we have achieved our first goal. In our voice module, we can give two types of commands to our app. One is to give the starting and ending coordinates to our app, and what it does is that it filters the coordinate itself based on those two words and two numbers. By taking the starting letter of each word and the number which comes very next to it, as you can see here. We have achieved all of this by pure programming. We didn't use any tools for it, say TensorFlow, Python or such. We have made our own algorithms and functions to do it. Now we are moving towards our second goal, which is integrating voice recognition in multiple languages so that players from all around the globe can play chess in their native languages. Conclusion. VR Chess is the complete package of entertainment for chess players. An application where the users can customize the app theme as well as the pieces theme according to his own choice from multiple options. VR Chess is also for those players who cannot use their arms due to disability, else they can also play chess by voice commands. In VR Chess, player can play against an AI bot or the player can play with another person. If the player can play against with the bot, then the player can play either voice command or by tapping their fingers on the screen. This app has multiple options while playing against AI that we have explained our functional requirements. Thank you for having us. If you have any queries, feel free to ask, or you can email them to me.
Yeah, any questions from the participants? Daniel, one question to you.
Yes.
Are you using any machine learning algorithms for this?
No, we're not using any machine learning algorithm. We could have used it for the AI bot, but that was a completely different thing as we use bots by alpha beta pruning and min-max algorithm, which we thought was easy for us to do in the first phase because our main function was voice recognition, not bots.
Okay. Yeah, fine. I think it will be good when you apply any ML algorithm or AI to that. It will be very interesting if you apply that in future. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, thank you. Then is any other questions from
Sir,
the participants? Okay. Okay, Mr. Daniel.
Participant can unmute and ask question if they are having.
No, I don't think there are any questions. Sarah is asking something.
Yeah, Sarah, over to you. Your mic is toggling there. I think, are you speaking something? Sarah? Okay, okay, Daniel. Thank you very much for presenting. Have a nice day.
You're welcome. You too.
Yes.
Thank you.
I request Ivan. Ivan is there. Paper ID 57. Ivan. Okay, we'll move to
sir, can
58
we
paper ID.
present ID number 28?
Please 1 second. I think Cesar is on the call. Cesar Leon. Paper ID 58. Are you there? Just a second. Cesar here. I think. Yeah, she's not there. Yeah, which paper
Sir,
ID you
we
want
are
to
ready.
present now?
Sir, we are ready. Group number ID number 28.
28. Okay, okay. Please go ahead.
Okay, sir.
Please share your screen and go ahead.
And introduce yourself. And Mr. Bhargav, please take a screenshot.
Can you see our screen?
Yes.
Yes, your screen is visible and you are also audible to us.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Put in presentation mode and go ahead. And switch on your video for some time, 1 minute, then go ahead.
We don't have a camera right now. Is the problem?
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
fine. Please switch on to presentation mode and go ahead.
Okay. It's visible to everyone?
Yes, it is visible.
Yeah. Welcome everyone to the proceeding of 7th International Conference on the Recent Trending in Computer Science and Electronics, University of Hawaii in USA. Our research paper is Unreal Engine Realistic War First Third Person Shooting Game Fallen Heroes, paper ID 28. We are the students of Sir Syed University representing from Pakistan. Our authors are Syed Nabil Ahmed, which is me, Salar Khan, Mohammad Irfan, Shazib, Ukasha Imran, and Ms. Aisha Khalid. So my co-author Shazib will continue with the abstract. Go ahead.
Hi everyone, my name is Sheikh. I am a student of Sir University of Engineering Technology. So let's talk about our paper research article abstract. Research has shown that there is a connection
1 second
between.
for interruption. Sahazab, 1 second for interruption. I think your sound is echoing.
Yes, ma'am.
Sound is echoing.
Okay,
Echo.
okay.
Just
Now,
check it from inside.
ma'am, can I audible clearly?
Now it's all right.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, to let's start. Research has shown that there is a connection between first person and third person shooting games, and the higher mental flexibility is required when players playing the game. People in such game were found to require a far lower time to move between difficult tasks, partly because they rapid actions to quick moving graphics. By building a responsive mindset when they playing first person and third person shooting games. The successful design of visual and models of both the first person and third person game will provide you the best experience in playing the game. And the first person, third person is a kind of 3D video game that has been popular day by day in the gaming industry. The game is a 3D video game which is war mode. There is a storytelling. So the combat and action history are the key design of this style of game. Our main player role is to point the user and respond every action which is to uh, game.
Shajib, wait, sorry to interrupt. Someone's mic is open, because of that is echoing. Uh, can you please mute it? Yeah, go ahead,
Okay.
Shajib.
Yes. So introduction, please next slide. So introduction of our research article, like computer games are one of the most popular entertainment format in the world, and the global market generate 175.8 billion revenue in 2021. And at the end of 23, the game market will continue to rise, approach $200 million. In the anticipated that the esports sector will explain and fast after the COVID-19, and around 300 million esport visitors globally will be at the end of 2023. Researcher and consumer were given valuable information of the component of the game in studies. Video game information whenever develops a frequent will creation a new good and increase customer desire for more and better games. Choosing first person, third person shooting game is one of the most unique qualities of game. First person provide the visuals from your arm sights, and the third person provide the visuals of your main character and the enemy around, and the 3D view. More operational and strategical learning. Sometimes the first person and third person games are often more typically useful. Game can be used to support tool in order to complement traditional techniques method in order to increase learning skills. And tech other skills include rules, problem solution, interaction, and the ability to think critically, creatively, collaboration, and good support. Both cameras option in Fallen Heroes interact quite efficiently with player. During the play, the player can change the camera setting while the player can interact with the our main player. Video game streaming has become more quite popular in recent years, and streamers are looking for a game that have high features and high quality graphics. The voice and the less latency, so they get more viewers around the world. So this is all about my side. My co-author will continue. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Ukash Imran and I will present about mechanics. One of the first thing that designer attempt to do with a new design is outline the mechanics of the game. Specifically, they are trying to determine what players will be doing throughout the game and how they will accomplish it. Tabletop game players may know some main mechanics like roll and move, placing tile or drafting card. Video game players know many mechanics like directional movement through a space, using thumbstick, or choosing dialogue choice operation. Game mechanics are the rules and procedure that guide players through the game. These mechanics also provide the structure for how the game reacts to player action. The main mechanics represent the core loop as well as provide the main feedback loop for players. This is a very high level definition of game mechanics. Mechanics can also be broken down more thoroughly into different action processes and visuals. Those different parts represent abstracted characteristics the game is trying to represent. Number one, quantity. Mechanics which are represented by a number. In video game, there is a health bar which shows the health and energy of a character. Time is also a quantity mechanics which shows the time of one round. Number two, space. These mechanics affects the space. In video games, it controls the position, rotation, collision of a object. Number three, state. Mechanics which apply additional rules. It controls that when a player is alive or dead, and when a player is won or lost. Number four, action. Mechanics that drive change. It controls the health, running, jumping. And now my co-author Mohammad Irfan will continue.
Hello, hello everyone. So my topic is first and third person. As our in Fallen Heroes is based on single tail games for the first and third person action. Let's distinguish. A shooter, a first person FPS of a first person is a kind of shooting games that allow a character to be seen, experienced, and checked by an actual person in 3D. In a first person mode, you have a vision of a product this eye. Modern first person shooter FPS game runs in a real time and a career in comprehensive and complex 3D dimension world as duplicated in figure 1. As you see in figure 1, there is a picture of a first person camera mode. Now in a third person shooter, the player may see a character in third person view where a camera is placed behind the character eye or a complete avatar as illustrated in figure 2. In figure 2, as you can see, Mr. Nabil, please change the slide to a slide number 6. So there is a diagram. Okay. There's existing games are there. That is Green Force. Green Force is also a game of a first person a game and a zombie shooting a unique meeting without settling down on a discrete discrete portions of each type. The game has a story mode with different problems mission. If you are state of a temperament to carry out zombies, browse the survival or turbo guidelines for the training course and listening. Two guides can be rehearsal in endurance and turbo modes. Super mode isn't exactly the same as zombie mode. Continue there. Repair. You don't have a choice. The game was released in 2013 by Pakistani Peshawar student. Only the drawback of this game is it is outdated in graphics and more old mechanics. Now the next game is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Yeah, this is one of the best game, and we have already played this game. It is about the publisher game is Activision, and it is introduced in the PlayStation and Xbox, and has a launch in 2009, November 10. It is a first person. It is a first person shooting game. Now, why we have compared these games? Because our game is a third person and a first person mode. Unlike not in this case, the first person and third person game mode is not present in Green Force or in a Call of Duty Modern Warfare. But in our game, Fallen Heroes, these two modes are available. The graphics are quality ultra not is available in these two games. But in our game, these two, our graphics is also good. The scalability is also good. And the main difference is we have introduced the Urdu language in our game, Fallen Heroes. And we have used the Unreal Engine to create this game, which is it is way better than other like Unity, but it is way better, and they have lots of features. Now, my co-partner and Syed Nabila will continue this presentation. Thank you.
Okay, we have discussed about the. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah.
Please continue.
Yeah, we discussed about the abstract and the introductions and the related previous works that we have seen before. So let's talk about how we make the game. Let's talk about the methodology. So firstly, we shall initialize and download. So in the editor which we use in the game is Unreal Engine 4, because there have been the previous versions of Unreal. There has been Unreal 1, 2, and 3. So the recent one that when we started developing this game, so that time the engine version was 4. So which is provided by the Epic Games. Epic Games is a huge platform which gives lots of players to play the different type of games, and within the Epic Games the Unreal Engine is provided, so it's very easy. It is used it is used in a high resolution PC and console game. It is popular in the filming, and nowadays Unreal Engine 5 is also using in the filming of cinematics and etc. So how can we download the Epic Games? We can download the Epic Games application through its official website, from which we can install the Unreal Engine, and it's just free of cost. There are lots of other softwares, they have been paid. You have to pay a lot of amount to buy it. So it's totally free if you are using the Unreal. And okay. So how we create our project and import our assets. So if we are creating our project, create a new project from your Epic Game account for Unreal 4, give you the game title. You have to provide the game title and start working on it. Okay, we can import the lots of assets according to the needs of game designing and mechanism. Main thing is that whenever we are designing any game, we need assets, and assets are the main elements in our game. Like if we have a character, if we have a rock, if we have a house, anything like that. So it's all thing is come into the category of assets. Okay, Epic Games has made the 117 million worth of the material from the Paragon company high-end action MOBA available to the all engine designer for free. Just like that, there are lots of things. One of the reason we use the Unreal Engine is because there are lots of assets which are free of cost, which you can be use easily. So if we are using like somebody creates something and he's posted on the Unreal Engine, and he's giving the copyrights to us, so we can use it and it's totally free of cost for us. Okay. In this game we have imported a different assets from the following, like we have used a different type of assets and the projects, and we have combined it together, like TPS multiplayer pack, Western Desert Town, photorealistic landscapes, and FPS and etc. Okay, let's talk about how we are designing and testing our game. So let's talk about our train. Train is like it's the under table on which our player, which our playing pieces are placed. It's a sandbox we play in and the garden we develop. It's like a square where we usually have to make our whole game. So it's like a boundary. We have a boundary in which we have to do everything. So we consider and consume, compress and molded. It is a heroic, unsung centrum of all the games, so much and more. Talking the idea from which we want our location to be, we started creating mountains, placing rocks, trees, and themes. Like we have a story of a game, so we have to build according to the places. Like we in our game, we are making some part of Pakistan, so we try to identical to do the locations which have been in the pictures and something like that. So we have created the mountains and try to replicate the real locations into the game. House play an important role as they provide us with the element that will be interacted by a character, adding those houses and the location according to our idea of game. So it's important if there's mountains and things, so there should be the houses. Without the houses, the game will look so plain and nothing to it. So it add the value in it. Adding a house to the location according to the idea game, make sure to add all the elements inside the house and give the complete look of house. Western Desert Town helped us in the okay. So the asset which we use, the Western Desert Town, it really helped us because there were already pre-made houses and lots of things which we use and we only modify them and use it in our game. So it saved lots of time for us. Okay, when our location is done with all the elements, we need a directional light. It's like a sun. In our real life, and we have a sun, so we have a light, and it's just like a mechanism. The night comes and the day comes, so round and round, it's go a loop. So just like that, we also need a directional light in our game. So it's one of the most important thing because of light we cannot even see anything or something like that. So direction lights are big remote source from the place outside the game world. They can be used to replicate the sun or moon in the realistic scene, adjusting according to your theme. Adding weather sky will help the good sky asset to give the natural look in it, as we added the rain and location, help to particles added from the soul cave. Just like that, we also take rain particles and also place it in our game, so it looks more realistic, like it's raining, and with the weather sky. So we make a combination to look is very natural. Okay. When our environmentation is ready, we have time to add the main character and protagonist of game using TPS multiplayer. So what the TPS multiplayer asset did, there are lots of things we use from it, like the mechanism of the movement of players. So in Unreal Engine, there's no specific language we are coding behind. The main concept of doing all the coding in the backend is done in blueprints. So they are like a sockets. Like if we are a socket, we are pressing it on and off. So it's work like that. So in the Unreal Engine, the whole the backend process is working on the blueprints, and inside those blueprints they are C++ using C++ usual. So just like that, we can put our character and just do settings on functionality, like if we press W, so it will walk forward. If we press A, it will go left, and D to the right, as to the and space for the jumping. And just like all the other things we added, like enemies and something. So it's a whole detailed topic which is in our research paper. So I'll just summarize it for you. Okay, let's talk about we talk about the abstracts, introductions, related work, and how we make it. So what was the process of the prototype model we were using? We were using the SDLC, which is the one of the most common development models of life cycles. This method is used when the customers are not aware of the specific needs of our projects. So this is our like a final year projects for our university. So in this case, there was not a customer. In this case, our supervisor basically was a customer. So we were going front and back and forth, showing him whatever we do updates and set like that. Okay. Okay. As we done with our games, so there are some screenshots of our game. Here we can show our locations which we have done and what we have to modify. Like here in the first picture, you can see the locations, and second location, there's a river going up. There's a sky in the second location. We can see the interior of the house, and this like this. And one more, the most important thing is that in Pakistan, there's not a much in game development on the AAA side of graphics. So it's like a, there might be few, but there's not any known which I have known. I have done the research. I didn't know any games there which are on the AAA category graphics. So in my game, there's the all the assets which we are using, and the game is totally on the AAA graphics. Okay. And in the end, I would like to acknowledge our co-author and our supervisor, Mr. Salar Khan of the Sir Syed University. Because of him, we were able to done our research and complete our work. And secondly, I want to express my gratitude to our university. Thank you. Any question you can ask.
Thank you, Syed. It was the broad presentation what you have given. It was a nice presentation. So any questions are there from the participants? See, participants, you are welcome to ask the questions if you have any. Okay, Syed, I think there are no questions. Yeah, thank you for your presentation.
Thank you, sir. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you. Have a nice day. Then I request paper ID 58, Cesar Leon. I think you are available in the meeting, right? Cesar Leon, did you reach me? Hello.
Sir,
Cesar,
can I
I'm
ask
seeing
about?
the.
Can I
Cesar, I'm seeing you in the list actually. Did you able to hear me?
He is unmuted. Professor
Yeah.
Bhargav.
Yes, madam. He is unmute actually. No. He is available in the list. So he is having one paper to present actually.
Paper ID number?
58, madam.
Okay, 58. So, Mr. Leo.
Gamification tools.
Okay, maybe he may
Maybe
take
some
time.
issue. Yeah, some issue he is having. So
Yes,
can you
yes.
send me who is available for present now?
He has given, Syed Nabil Ahmed has given. Correct,
Yes, ma'am. We have given paper ID
And he
28. Yeah.
Yes. So, Kamen Salazar Deza, he has given. Mr. Deza, he has given. Carmen Salazar Deza. I think almost everybody presented. Cesar Leon. Mr. Leon, he has to give. Dr. Bhargav, he is there. Cesar Leon Brandra is present. Okay, so in the list, who and all are present, everybody has presented the paper. Okay, he is writing. Video of the presentation. Okay, fine. In chat, he has written that he has given the video presentation. Okay, then no point. He has already given the video presentation. Okay. So I think now everybody has well presented. And Anyone is left out? Bhargav sir, anybody has left
Yes,
out?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Anybody
I
has
think everyone has covered. I believe.
So at the end, if uh, somebody want to say something about this conference virtual mode, they can talk.
Yeah. So the authors, can you give feedback? If your feedback is very valuable to us, so if you can, anyone. People, those who have presented, can you share the feedback to us so that we can take the suggestions from you people?
I think they can write in the chat box also.
Yes.
They can
And
write in
I
chat.
request all the participants here, please switch on your video so that we have a photograph once. Please, I request all the participants and the authors to switch on your video for 2 minutes.
Okay.
I think no one is.
Interested for that.
Yeah, they are doing. Yeah, fine. Fine. I can see Sarah. I can see Jaira sir, Frank. Daniel, you are very fortunate to have video in the starting, but now I'm not seeing you. Why? Daniel and team.
Mr. Frank is also there.
Yeah. Frank is also there. Sarah, did you able to reach me? Yeah, Prita ma'am, can you please take the screenshot of this because I cannot speak now.
Yeah, okay, just a minute. I'll take.
I think, yeah, Mr. Daniel, yeah, thank you. Ma'am, please take a snap of again.
I'm taking. Just a minute. Just a minute.
Is it done, ma'am? Yeah, thank you. So, ma'am, we'll conclude.
Yes.
Yeah. So, good afternoon, one and all present here. So, myself, I am Dr. Bharatram Gaud from Department of ECE, Oxford College of Engineering. So, it's a great pleasure to conclude the day for this event.
So on behalf of Children's Education Society, President, Principal, Director, and staff and head of the department of Oxford College of Engineering, EC department. So it's a pleasure to me to have with you this day. So the session was very nice, and we have gone through the recent topics here today. So the authors they presented very well related to the topics which are going to the current technology. So it's a great privilege to me to have with you and to discuss with you and to share the ideas and to coordinate with you. So and I thank the organizer of this 7th International Conference on Recent Trends in Computer Science and Electronics Engineering 2022. Dr. Vishwajit Pandey, so for giving me this opportunity to organize the satellite conference at our college in Bangalore. So I thank you, sir, and I thank Dr. Preeta Sharan, so head of the research center at the Oxford College of Engineering, so to give me as a coordinator of this satellite conference. So I thank you, ma'am. And I thank the head of the department, Dr. Manju Devi, ma'am, so for giving us the platform to organize this at our department level. So I thank you also, ma'am. And I thank all the staff, students, and the faculty members of my department, as well as from the college, to give me this opportunity to have a discussion with you. And finally, I thank our principal, sir, Dr. N. Kannan, sir, so for giving me this opportunity and to organize, and his support was constantly very nice, and we can organize these events so in future also. So we were organizing these events from past 5 years, I believe, if I'm not wrong. So we are successfully organizing this, and thank for giving us the opportunity to the principal, sir, of the college, Dr. N. Kannan, sir. And thank you, everyone. So now it's over to Preeta, madam.
Thank you, Professor Bhargav. It was very nice, and you are conducting this since many years actually. So I'm very thankful to you for the nice successful conduction of the virtual conference. So I thanks to everyone for participating, and thanks and all. And I hope in future we will have a very good relation with you. In future also we will conduct like this. And if any audience want to collaborate with your research work, and I will give your email ID and they will collaborate with you. Thank you very much. Thank you, one and all. Thanks. So with this, we will end the meeting. Okay, Bhargav sir, we will end the meeting.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, sure, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.